So good morning, everyone. We're going to get started now. Thank you for joining us this morning. To see this amount of support for an initiative like this means a lot to our community. My name is Jennifer Wintermeyer, and I am the Executive Director of Tri-County Community Action. Our agency works throughout Cumberland, Dauphin, and Perry counties, but our main office is headquartered here in the city of Harrisburg. As members of this community, we see Harrisburg for the vibrant city that it is. We see the strengths and the resources in every single one of our neighborhoods. But we know that many of our neighbors face the challenges of blight, crime, and poverty. And the causes and solutions for those challenges can be very different neighborhood to neighborhood. So we could not be more excited to announce today that Tri-County Community Action, in collaboration with our partners who you'll hear from, have been awarded the Byrne Criminal Justice Innovation Grant. This grant is part of the federal government's larger neighborhood revitalization initiatives, which help local communities develop strategies to change their neighborhoods from places of challenges to places of opportunity. I'm thrilled to introduce our partners, which include Harrisburg City Administration and the Harrisburg City Police Department, Penn State Harrisburg's School of Public Affairs, the Camp Curtin YMCA, and our steering committee members, Dorothy Smith and Cassina Lowe. Through this innovation grant, the partners you see here will be working with you, the people and families living in the Camp Curtin neighborhood. And with you, we'll gather information about the issues you see and will help you develop a plan of action that is specific to your neighborhood to overcome those challenges. I think it's important to mention that since the inception of this grant on a federal level, Harrisburg is only one of 60 cities nationally to receive this award. And as the community develops their action plan, we'll be able to apply for an implementation grant, which will be much more substantial and allow that plan to come to fruition. Tri-County Community Action is excited to get this project started, and we're proud to collaborate with such a talented and dedicated and amazing team of partners and such a motivated community. I'd like to introduce one of our key partners now, Mayor Eric Papenfuss.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. What a great crowd. Good to see everybody this morning. I wanted to say that we are very, very excited to make this announcement. Over $155,000 through the fiscal agent, Tri-County Community Action, to help really get at the root causes of crime in Harrisburg. This represents a continued investment in Harrisburg by the federal government, by the Department of Justice. We want to thank them. This, in addition to the COPS grant that was recently awarded to the city, is really quite significant. If you look at that list of cities that received a Byrne grant in the last round, it included Atlanta and Washington, D.C., and Minneapolis and others that are much larger than Harrisburg. But there has been a commitment to help this community by the Obama administration, and we're very, very excited. It also represents a wonderful opportunity for collaboration, because I think one of the key things to express about this grant is that it is a data-based grant. And that's why we have Dr. Lee, who you'll hear from in a moment, from Penn State Harrisburg, partnering with us as our research institution to really examine the data that underlies our crime that we experience here in this Camp Curtin region. That is, in some respects, easier said than done, and we've had to embark on a collaborative partnership with the Harrisburg Police Department to pull that data from our records and our files in a way that is innovative and new, and I think it's going to lead to really meaningful statistical analysis, and we'll let Captain Oliveira and Dr. Lee talk about it. The other aspect of this grant is that it is a community-based grant. It's not a top-down grant, it's a bottom-up grant, and we are very pleased to be working with the Camp Curtin YMCA and Jamie Harvey and all of his team here, as well as Tri-County Community Action, to really engage the public. We're not only going to be looking at statistics, we're also going to be doing surveys and meetings and really hearing from what the public think and what they want and what they need. And the city is honored to be a partner in this with everyone else who is here, And I think it's going to make a difference. Finally, I'll say this is a very targeted grant. It's looking only at one particular region of the city, and then it's going to drill down even further in this region of Camp Curtin of the city. There are many parts of the city that perhaps could benefit from this analysis, and this could be expanded, and the things that we learn here can make a big difference in our policing strategies for the future, but we wanted to start somewhere concrete, and we had these partners assembled in a way that we could really make a difference here. So let me introduce our speakers. We're going to start with Captain Oliveira, many of you know, with the Harrisburg Police Department, and he can talk a little bit about the city's cooperative role in implementing this grant. Captain Oliveira.
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to say we are very, very happy to work with our partners. And let me repeat that again. We are very happy to work with our partners. We've often said in the last year that we needed the community to come forward so that we can make a difference within the city itself. And this specific grant shows that. We have partners. We're going to be working in this community with people from this community to make some changes. So we look very forward to being able to work with all of them and make a substantial difference in the lifestyle in this community. As the mayor said, that the information that we've been working on for almost a year now, that information is not only for here, but it's for the rest of the city. We're looking long term. We're starting here, but the things that the police department learns here, we plan to take to other parts of the city. We want to make a substantial change within the city, but to make that change, you need partners. So once again, we are very proud and very pleased that we have these partners to work with. All right. I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine, Dr. Jonathan Lee, Penn State Harrisburg University, who will be giving us and helping us with a lot of data. So, please.
Good morning. Research team at Penn State Harrisburg is going to carry out a scientific assessment of crime and a community in an effort to assist Tri-County Community Action Commissions, Camp Curtin YMCA, and the City of Harrisburg in developing neighborhood revitalization programs and crime prevention strategies. Research project is composed of two domains. One domain is crime analysis. We're going to look at crime data and look at the crime map and see what situational factors are associated with crime, different types of crime, and then we're going to determine what type of targeted policing can be implemented in this neighborhood. And this line of research ties in closely with targeted policing strategy, and the police bureau can allocate their limited resources in crime hotspots and crime hot time. And then the other domain of research project is community survey. This community survey is part of the public opinion study, and we're going to conduct a resident survey to see what people think, what people know about crime and their neighborhood, and what they think about police service and what can be done in their opinion. So I think I would like to emphasize the importance of community buy-in and input in this project. It's very important that we know what you think and what you know about crime and public safety in this neighborhood. Thank you. And I would like to hand it over to Executive Director of Camp Curtin YMCA, Mr. Harvey.
The Camp Curtin YMCA is very excited to be a part of this partnership. You know, as the cornerstone of this community, as the safe haven of this community, as the face of this community, we will engage the community. My staff, my students, myself, we will hit the streets here in the next week or two, engaging the community with the survey. I have a team of youth, teen achievers, college prep students, our alternative students, you know, our mentors, all of our staff and whatnot will be on these streets in the next 2 or 3 weeks collecting the data, okay? Since we are the face and whatnot of this community, it will be well received. Our job in this process is, like I said, to engage the community, and we are very happy to be a part of this partnership. Thanks.
So that is our introduction of the Burn Criminal Justice Innovation Grant, and our plan over the next couple of weeks is to begin the community engagement and survey pieces, to meet with community members and focus groups, and at the same time have a separate track that is heavy research and data driven. And as we get results from those two tracks, again, bringing the community together, taking a look at that information, and with the members of this community determining what the next steps are in developing that action plan. So we'd love to answer any questions that anybody may have, and we have our whole team here that's able to do that if anybody has any questions.
Yes, what sort of data will you be collecting, and how are you going to parse it out to figure out what?
Thank you for the question. First of all, for crime analysis, we will look at crime reports at police department. And then we're going to look at the time of the day of the week, the location profile, and then suspects demographics, victims demographics, and then social information. That's collectively what we call situational factors. We're going to do advanced statistical analysis to see if there's any kind of association with different types of crime. And the other domain of research, like I said, is the community survey. And for the resident survey, we're going to develop instrument based on the Department of Justice recommendations, and then we're going to conduct survey in this area. There will be local volunteers knocking on the door, and for those who are not comfortable with it, we also have an online version of it, and you can go to your computer and smartphone and participate in that survey. And we also have a Spanish version ready for that as well.
For how long will you be collecting the data and doing these surveys? Is it over a couple of months or over the course of an entire year?
For the survey, it will be implemented in the next couple of months, and we're hoping that we do that by the end of June to complete the survey data collection. And for the crime analysis, the data is actually updated on a daily basis, so we have constant access to that for the analyses.
Have you already received the full grant money at this point, or are you waiting for it?
So anytime you work with the federal government in funding, they do not advance you the grant. It is a reimbursement program. So we have not received the full amount. As we do activity, we can submit invoices and receive reimbursement for that. And Tri-County Community Action's role as a fiscal agent of that is then to submit those invoices, take that money and distribute it where it was used, and reimburse those folks who actually spent the money.
Okay. So have expenses already been put out at this point?
Yeah, the grant actually, we had an effective date of October 1st. We really started getting together and getting the partners together and developing the plan in November. Working on the development of the implementation tool, development of the actual how this is going to look and work. We've engaged community members in actually developing the survey, so it's really great to have a Department of Justice recommended survey. But if it doesn't make sense to this community, it's not helpful, so we've engaged local community members to read that survey for us, help us update it, help us make it make sense to this community. So that has begun, and we have begun drawing down those funds. I would say by far, because this is a heavy research-based planning, by far much of that cost will actually start incurring once we really dig down into the data and the research.
Speaking of data, do we have any data on how well this sort of grant has been working in other communities? Do we have anything that indicates that it's going to be a really good fit for Harrisburg?
Yeah, we are part of regular conference calls and connections with the burn folks at the Department of Justice, and we connect to those other communities that have been recipients in the past or are recipients this year. And because it is a community-driven, as the mayor said, a bottom-up approach, it tends to be very effective. Many of the planning grant recipients also were able to go on and get the implementation grant because they took the time to do the planning process really well, and we anticipate that here as well.
It's also a fairly new program.
It is a fairly new, so it was started under the Obama administration. First year awards was only 2012. So in 4 years, they've only awarded 60 cities, and Harrisburg is thrilled to be one of those cities.
Another piece.
Sure, Kevin.
The survey that's been designed for this specific area, that survey will also be distributed amongst all city residents. The goal is this is kind of the birthplace of this, but we wanted to expand this. So we wanted to get the perceptions of all city residents of what they believe crime is, their housing, the education, all those different pieces in there. So the survey is going to actually be distributed amongst all city residents. The difference is in this specific neighborhood, it would actually they will be going door to door and meeting with the residents themselves.
You mentioned gathering data from the police reports. Has that process started, and if so, have you found anything interesting in it yet? Any sort of aha revelations?
One of the difficulties we've had was our old record management system that we actually left in November. That system was actually a DOS-based system, if any of you know what that is anymore. It was a very old system. It was designed 22 years ago. So it was very difficult to extract a lot of information in there. So that's what's taken us a long time. We've since transitioned to a new records management system, which is called InSync. That's a little bit more manageable working with it. Dr. Lee and I was just talking a few minutes before this started, and we hope to have some results within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Any other questions? Well, on behalf of all of our partners and the residents here in Camp Curtin, I thank you so much for your interest in this. We're really excited to see what type of plan could be developed, combining data and community engagement, and we'll be talking to you as this project moves forward. So thank you all so much.